2020 has been a challenge, and still is challenging us, as we strive to deliver a better year than the year that was, and strive to make the living thrive amidst the country's economic, political, social, environmental issues, and now, the new pandemic issue. The challenge comes to us in the form of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, and the challenger is the SARS-CoV-2 virus. As we all have been informed, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is a coronavirus type, or an RNA virus, that takes human as its host cell, and enters it through the respiratory openings. The first case of its infection was reported to happen in Wuhan, China, earlier this year, and at present, the virus is still here spreading its infection amongst us, gaining its power, taking over our health, and much worse, our sanity. This tiny challenger has struck hard on us humans, and each of us scramble to avoid its harm. Everyone is affected, physically, emotionally, socially, economically, environmentally, and even mentally with all of the chaos it has brought us. The World Health Organization has asked everyone, including medical and uniformed frontliners, government officials, and even the public to participate in its all hands to the pumps battle, to look for the possible solution, remedy, and even the so-called cure for this challenge, presented to us by this yet undiscernible minute felon. As of this writing, a rise of 27 million confirmed COVID cases, and almost 899,000 of lives taken worldwide, has been on the record. The key points in this situation are awareness, safety, protection, and security. Mindfulness and awareness are both the bridge between reaction and conscious choice. You don't need to know the whole alphabet of safety. The ABCs of it will save you, if you follow it. You've got to do whatever it takes to protect the ones you love. At the end of the day, the goals are simple: safety and security. This would lead to the most achievable of all, if only we could follow. The most achievable goal during these times, and even at this time, is still prevention. This is why, if you haven't caught it yet, you can prevent it from catching you. If you caught it already and is causing you hell, you can still fight to survive, or at least prevent its damaging havoc if you could. When you could, and should you could. God help you on this. If you caught it, caused you hell and recovered from it, you can be the beacon of light to those who are fighting to survive its infectious destruction. This is a tiny minute felon that has caused a worldwide pandemic of not only infection and disease, but also of panic and pain. No one is safe until everyone is safe. The COVID-19 virus is known as the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It was named for the disease and symptoms it causes, and the type of virus it is classified of. SARS, meaning severe acute respiratory syndrome. CoV-2, meaning coronavirus type 2. It is an RNA virus under the coronavirus family, and is the second type discovered. It gains entry via the ACE2, or the angiotensin-converting enzyme 2 receptors of the human cells, which are found in the linings of the epithelial tissues, covering the organs of the body, in particularly that of the mucosal linings of the nose, and eyes, mouth, lungs, and the rest of the respiratory organs, and other vital systems. It contains the typical virus coating, consisting of spike proteins that attach to the host cell's receptors. Inside, it holds RNA as its genetic material, protected by the nucleocapsid. Once it gains entry to the host cell, it begins to generate a life cycle of its own. First, it will release its genetic material, or RNA, into the host cell's cytoplasm, or the cell's internal machinery, to get to the host cell's DNA. And from there it starts to shift the host cell's machinery, from manufacturing the host cell's need to live and function, into manufacturing the materials needed by the virus, to create millions of copies of itself. Then, once the virus has replicated, it then assembles its kind and start to leave the host cell, and spread its way to do the same purpose into nearby cells. As you have seen, There are three general stages where the virus creates its life in the host cell. First stage is the infection stage, where the virus gains entry via endocytosis, by attaching its spike proteins into the ACE2 receptors of the endothelium. Second stage is the incubation stage, where the virus releases its RNA and starts controlling the host cell's machinery to make lots of copies of itself via a process known as viral replication. This takes place at about 5 to 11 days after infection. At this stage, the host may be asymptomatic, or not showing yet any signs of the symptoms of infection. As at this stage, the immune system starts or have started kicking in. Third stage is where millions of copies of the replicates assemble and start to leave the host cell via exocytosis to cause more infection into nearby cells through a process known as viral shedding. This takes place beginning at the 12th day of infection, and the host will typically start to show symptoms of the disease. The host's immune system will start to release its armies once threat has been established. And this usually happens either initially on the entry or towards the incubation stage. It will challenge the virus internally, and depending on the skill of our immune system, and its overall resources including antioxidants, the protective components such as proteins etc., and immune cell army numbers, will engage accordingly, and will try to manage the virus infection. However, most of the times, the virus will gain power over the immune response and cause the immune system to surrender to the challenge, making the situation worse, and the host experiencing numerous signs of weakness as the virus takes over. The facts: SARS-CoV-2 invades, multiplies, destroys, and takes over. It targets humanity, regardless of what age, gender, or health state you are in. We all have the built-in door to the virus's entry. And it's all over our endothelial tissues, which is part of our MEN, or mouth, eyes, and nose. We all have the enzymes and resources that it needs to live inside our cells. That is why it is after us. It is pertinent to follow the proper protocols of keeping safe from the virus's harm, like using masks, face shields, practice social distancing, washing of hands, and staying healthy. These serves as our external personal protective measure and equipment, or PPE and PPM for protection. The virus is here and is still here, and no one is exempted from its harm. The cure to it, however, is not yet here. So, it ain't over until it is over. It is not yet too late to engage in the avoidance of the destructive harm the virus causes. We need to do whatever it takes to protect us and our loved ones. Now that you have all been informed of what's happening, the numbers, the efforts, the facts, and especially the tactics of this felon, we can use all of these to deploy our counterattack. Knowledge is power. At this time, there has been several protocols used to manage COVID symptoms. It's a trial and error in an attempt to find which is the best. And also several published and unpublished studies on how SARS-CoV-2 virus spreads its infection and cause damage to our lives is made known to us. However, one thing is constant in all of these, and that is, the virus is after us and creates its life in 3 stages. First, attachment and entry, or the infection stage. Second, viral replication or incubation stage. And third, viral shedding or release, where occurrence of symptoms takes place. This intel is enough to deploy a counterattack to it, while we patiently wait for the good news of its cure. While we get a lot of information on the cases and deaths brought by COVID-19, we forget that the cases of uninfected, living and thriving, is higher than the COVID cases reported. Natural Nutrition Science Incorporated is one manufacturing and research and development company that provides not only awareness on health and wellness, but also on the action to take to live it. And guess what? This is in the Philippines. The company is based in Subic, Zambales, where it houses its own organic farm, the Spirulina Filipina Farm. It's more of a manufacturing company and a research and development institute, which houses homegrown scientists as well as functional and integrative doctors combined. The company has been providing world-class nutraceuticals in the form of food supplements to help the country experience protection, safety, healing, prevention, and total wellness whoever needs them, whenever they need them, and wherever they are. In this given year of COVID-19 pandemic, NutraTect Incorporated is one with the World Health Organization in its Heal as One drive and is continuously contributing to the country's health and wellness awareness in forums like this, as well as promoting its natural functional food to help keep its patrons safe. NutraTect Incorporated is also engaged in humanitarian activities, such as feeding programs and extending our help to people badly affected by calamities, such as typhoons and earthquakes. As of this writing, we have over 600 plus COVID-19 patients, or actual subjects that have experienced healing, and most of them are on the road to securing protection and living a life of balance and wellness. All because their awareness on the pandemic situation, and with them experiencing it, have caused them their will to take action on it. Recovery from the SARS-CoV-2 virus is their common ground. These people came from all categories of cases. From patients with mild to severe symptoms, from asymptomatic to symptomatic cases, from non-uniform government employees to the uniformed forces, to the medical frontliners. Each of them have great stories to tell. On the other hand, those who have been using NutraTect nutraceuticals, the loyal patrons of their functional foods, have been experiencing the good and balanced life. And continue to sustain such kind of life with it, and experience peace and security, while the world experiences this crisis brought by this seem to be invincible, minute felon known as SARS-CoV-2 virus. You have seen earlier on this presentation that the virus has 3 stages of events to complete its life cycle. The resources and machinery of the host cell will be slowly taken over by the virus, and use it rapidly to produce armies of its own. Breaking these stages of the virus's life cycle at any point, while preserving the host cell and its resources, and priming proper defense reaction from the host cell, can altogether save the day. Visualize these premium benefits that you can get when you decide to engage with the natural counterattack that is made to you, available within your reach now, in the form of our personal protective duo. Presenting to you NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Drops and Soft Gels, made from 10 natural herbs and their most active and potent ingredients, that when blended all together will provide a synergistic optimum defense and offense against the virus. A natural counterattack that will not only render destruction to the virus itself, but will arm the host cell with functional nutrients and prime fortification of wellness, when used consistently and sustainably. Our NutraTect Essential Oil Blend, when in action, will strike both at the systemic and cellular level, giving no chance for the virus to set foot on the ground when it is about to deploy its poison on the host. Multiply and assemble when it started gaining control of the host. And increase its infection on other nearby host cells by releasing its kind. Its artillery is complete. NutraTect Essential Oil Blend is bundled with the following. On guard, we have oregano, cinnamon, peppermint, thyme, and ginger, whose active components destroy the virus itself, from its covering spike proteins to its genetic material RNA, blocking its attachment and its entry, and protecting the cell from initial invasion. No chance of attachment and entry at all. Infection is prevented. Host cell is protected and secured. And on Scout, we have turmeric, sage, basil, clove, and frankincense. whose active components disrupt the replicating mechanism of the virus inside the host cell, preventing it from making copies of itself, and preventing its assembly inside the host cell. In this way, the virus is stopped from proliferating or making millions of copies. No chance of building viral armaments inside the host cell. Virus is disabled. Incubation stage is breached. Immune system is primed in action. Host cell will no longer show signs of viral symptoms. Host starts to heal. And host cell is protected and secured. On bounce, these herbs got our back. Oregano and peppermint, whose active ingredients will once again destroy the entire virus structure, disfiguring it and making it dysfunctional, and destroying it, not giving a chance to be released to cause more infection, causing these viral progenies to fall back and bounce inside the host cell, and are taken by the suicide bags of the cell for total eradication. Virus is totally erased and wiped out of existence. Host cell now has been fortified with infantry support for the immune soldiers. And total protection for the host has been secured. While the clinical world is engaging in the trials of the different substances or drugs that can destroy the virus, its structure, its genetic component RNA, or its life cycle, all in different angles of attack and vantage point, it is clear that the end point of which is to destroy the felon. And it stops there. When the virus is damaged and destroyed, the war is done. Wouldn't it be nice that while we are fighting off the powers of this minute parasites, we are also protecting and preserving the host cell it has invaded? That we provide additional aid to the soldiers that will defend the body and help manage the damage this virus has caused? That we also provide resource support to help the host cell maintain its biological integrity? This is the kind of experience the personal protective duo will provide, and this is the kind of story that will bring light to the crisis and will save the day. You see, the 4 key points are achieved now. Awareness or knowledge. Information on the invisible felon in the form of SARS-CoV-2 virus, its structure, its life cycle, and its endpoint. Information on the natural counter-attack in the form of NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Protective Duo. And information on how the host can be well protected from this poisonous parasite has been provided. Safety or action. Everybody is practicing external safety measures when we comply properly to the official safety protocols. Masks, face shields, sanitizers, and disinfection. With our protective duo, you can have an internal safety measure that will provide covering for the doors where the virus may enter. Protection or experience. NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Drops and soft gels will provide protection by deploying its components to strike both at systemic and cellular level, giving no chance for the virus to infect, incubate, and harm the host cell. Regardless of whether you have or have not been infected yet with COVID-19, you can experience protection with our protective duo. And security or reward. When these 10 natural herbs and their active ingredients gains foothold on your body, it will guarantee security of natural action and protection to support your functional systems. And to add to that, strength will be a great bonus that will be with you as you continue through these trying times, and of course if you nourish yourselves with these functional supplements. COVID-19 is both phenomenal and mystifying pandemic, and it is real. It is here. No matter what and who and where and why, we have to deal with it. No one is exempted from its harm. So while it is here, while we are here dealing with it, get your personal protective duo. Get NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Drops and soft gels. NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Drops serves as the external champion, protecting the nose and throat areas against these viruses, rendering the virus no entry to the external barriers. NutraTect Essential Oil Blend Soft Gels is your internal spotter, protecting you at the cellular level when the virus has breached through the external champion, or have gained entry at different channels. rendering the virus no entry to the internal structures and disabling their life cycle. No infection. No harm done to the host. Everybody needs NutraTect essential oil blend drops and soft gels, like we need to breathe fresh air, like we need to eat food, and like we need to follow through each episode of K-dramas in Netflix. This is our natural protective duo while COVID-19 is still here. No COVID, asymptomatic, and with COVID, secured natural protection is needed. NutraTect essential oil blend drops and soft gels can provide it to you, and comes to you highly recommended. Take NutraTect essential oil blend drops. For protection. 1 milliliter 3 times a day. For asymptomatic and with COVID symptoms. 2 milliliters 3 times a day. Take NutraTect essential oil blend soft gels. For protection. 1 soft gel 3 times a day. For asymptomatic and with COVID symptoms. 2 soft gels 3 times a day. You are assured of its solid gold efficacy. Trust us and you'll get these prime experience and share a testament beyond compare. Achieve the 4 key points as mentioned above and the bonus. Don't be left behind, or the virus will take what's left of you in order for it to survive. Be part of the country's living assets, be one of the solution. Help change the game plan. Deploy the natural and functional weapons. Checkmate COVID-19. Thank you and stay safe.